Okay, part 2 of the Webster 3-speed record changer. One of the unfortunate things is when you have to take out the transmission, you cannot take the transmission out unless you take out this decorative metal casting. This is metal, not plastic. You have to take this out of here, and in order to get this out, you have to begin the first thing you do, and you can't do this in any other order. You have to take the tone arm assembly out. You do that by disconnecting the tone arm wires from underneath, take them off the terminal strip. Then you have to take off the velocity trip assembly and the lifting post assembly. All this stacks up under the bottom of the tone arm in about this position. And this here, this is the trip. This is just a friction, and this is a weight for the velocity trip. So as the arm travels, this thing goes along for the ride until it gets to that trip assembly on the transmission. This hits the ear, and it starts the transmission into the cycle mode to change the record. And this just has to be clean. No oil on it, no lubrication. It just has to be very, very clean. If you have lubrication on it, it'll just slip and it won't reject at the end of the record. But anyway, after the tone arm is out of the whole assembly, and that, as I say, goes back to that Bristol screw. Once the tone arm is out of the assembly, then you have to take off the overarm and the sensing arm, and that you again have one of these assemblies here. You have 2 Bristol screws on this thing to take out, and this is the indexing assembly, which when it goes through the cycle, it tells which size record you're playing by the arm stopping in one of these little levers, the 12-inch, the 10-inch, or the 7-inch. And that has to come off. After that's off, you can take this part out here. And then once this is out of the way, you still can't get this out because there's 3 screws underneath, and there's also one of these one-way connectors here, right there. You have to kind of bend the little teeth on it so it can come up off the post on the bottom. And then, only then can you take this off, and then underneath that decorative assembly is one stupid screw that's going downwards into the transmission. So you can't take the transmission out unless you take this whole thing out. Poor design, in my opinion, because it was an unnecessary step. But anyway, so that's the disassembly of this thing.